So, you know that it's Women's Month, right? So, with African American women being the number one carriers for HIV currently, how does this stigma show up in your own lives? Like, I know that some of us are working at different organizations. What are some of the things that you try to talk to your participants about? What are some of the things that you may talk to your family members about regarding HIV right now?
I think for me and my friend group, is not brought up because I think they're very unaware of the rates and how African American minority women are the top carriers or the ones that are being more or the new infections basically. So we have a lot of conversation about protection and what that looks like because that obviously looks different for many different people, but um unfortunately even still today it's not even a topic unless it's brought up.
Hmm. Do you guys? I know that at Babashi, they do HIV testing, and they do it very well. From what I'm hearing in the city. So, talk to me a little bit about that. Like, what are some of the ways that you keep your community engaged and you keep, this thriving need, necessity at your agency?
So I will say we do a lot of educating, a lot of conversations about HIV and the impact that it has on Black and Brown women and girls. Um, Making sure that it's on the forefront of folks' thoughts, because many times people will present at our organization with some other issue, and we're saying, "But have you been tested?" And I think that because the rates have decreased over the years, I'm a 70s baby. So in the 80s, HIV was a thing, right? Left eye had a condom on her eye. And we talked about, my buddy, and everything was about being protected. And it was cool to talk about protected sex and keeping yourself safe. And it's not in conversations in the way it used to be. It's not in the music in the way it used to be. I mean, we talk about sharing partners and non monogamous relationships. And I'm all about, sex positive thoughts, behaviors, but safety, right? So one of the things we remind people when they come in and they get tested, it's like take the condoms on the way out, right? They're free. You got lube, you got condoms, you have all the things that you need to keep yourself safer, and people will walk right by it. I'm like, but you came in presenting a problem, issue, a concern, and you're leaving still choosing not to protect yourself. But having those conversations, educating people, it's still a thing. And it's still something that is impacting our communities and us specifically at disproportionate rates is part of what I have an obligation to do and what we do at Babashi, I think, very well. So I appreciate you saying that. I'll make sure my team knows that they doing it
Absolutely.
right.
Michael Melvin and
Yes, Michael Melvin,
yes,
the
absolutely.
best.
So I found it interesting that you said that you all don't talk about it. And so you're a 70s baby, I'm a 60s baby, and you came after us,
Mhm.
and we don't talk about it. So why do you think that we're not talking about it when, although the numbers are decreasing, they're still there? And, what can we do?
I kind of want to answer that a little bit for you.
Okay.
I think that the reason why women don't talk about it is because for decades, women haven't been the sole providers of their household. So to maybe challenge my husband and say, I want to take PrEP or I want us to engage in taking HIV tests could potentially mess up her and her home environment. If he decides to leave and she has three kids, all behind a conversation, maybe that's one of the reasons. Well, I've been told that was one of the reasons or a barrier to an individual seeking HIV knowledge and or PrEP and or in the instances that she can maybe know that her husband has stepped out, she doesn't even seek PEP, which is post exposure prophylaxis. So if you feel like that you have been exposed to HIV, women and men have a 72-hour window period to go to your local pharmacy, go to your local clinic, go to your local hospital and ask about PEP. If the person that you're talking to don't know about it, then ask them to get someone who does, because they definitely have it in their facility. So I hear that, it's so many different social dynamics to why women don't talk about this at home, because they don't want to mess up their home environment that they are currently living in. So that's just one of the.
I think image too. We're supposed to have one sexual partner,
Mhm.
right? And we're not going to say to our girlfriends, I've had a few,
Right.
right? I've done some things that I wasn't supposed to do, or I've exposed myself in this way. We don't allow ourselves, when we talked about vulnerability earlier, right? We don't have those real candid conversations about what we really do.
Mhm.
And so it doesn't show up in the way in those conversations. We talk about all the other things. Oh, girl, I'm going on vacation, or, I'm going to Jamaica. We're not talking about I'm going to Jamaica to get my groove back,
Mhm.
right? And so, and it's seen as something negative. So for men, it's like, yeah, he knocked down 6 chicks in Costa Rica, right? I mean, right? Think about your male friends. I was in Costa Rica and I had this and this is what happened. And when women go, or they have those, it's not encouraged.
Mhm.
We don't talk about it in that way. We certainly are very secretive about it. So we're secretive with our friends, we're secretive with our doctors, with our physicians about what our sexual history and experiences have been. And what happens is, because we're not honest, we find ourselves finding out that we're HIV positive way deep into the infection. And it's not just with sexually transmitted diseases. For Black women, we don't talk about health issues. We're taught to just always be strong and be stronger than whatever it is that impacts us.
There's so much information out there about what women should or shouldn't do to have safe sex. People talk about condoms, right? Oh, just wear a condom every time you have sex. But if we're being real, sometimes it's like, I don't need to wear a condom. I'm in love. But it's later, afterwards. Did I get something? Could I be pregnant? What about HIV? You don't have to live like that. Let me tell you about something you might not have heard about. It's a pill you take daily that can protect you against HIV. It's called PrEP, and that stands for pre-exposure prophylaxis. PrEP may be helpful for you if, and I'm saying if, you're ever in a situation you might get exposed. Say you're just doing your own thing, or you're seeing someone and you don't really know his status, or maybe you're not sure what all he's doing. PrEP can protect you if they're HIV positive, and you know that's sometimes a reality. So it's important for you to be honest with yourself and to protect yourself so you can have the type of relationship you want without all the worry. So here's some facts. PrEP can cut your risk of getting HIV 90%. You'll get checked regularly for STDs or HIV and for any side effects you might have. Some people have upset stomach or headaches for a short time when starting PrEP. PrEP is private, or as private as you want it to be. Just find a time once a day that's convenient for you. And you can take PrEP even if you want to get pregnant or if you want to breastfeed. Just talk to your doctor and see how PrEP can protect your baby. Most insurance covers PrEP, but if you don't have insurance, there are programs that can help you cover the costs. Now listen, I'm going to be real with you. Your doctor may not tell you to go on PrEP. Some doctors still don't know about it, how it works for women, or if you even want to be protected this way. But now that you know what's up, you can decide for yourself. Just be honest with your doctor about your situation. What's important is that you're protected, because your life comes first. And you have the right to advocate for yourself, to be happy, to take care of yourself, to have some fun and joy in your life. So talk to your doctor or look at these websites for more information.
I'm glad that you said that it's just not a sexually transmitted thing, right? Because we have people that are injection drug users that, for whatever the reason, wasn't able to get a clean needle, or they've been sharing a needle with their partner and their partner was exposed to HIV, and this was the way that they were exposed to HIV, right? So this is why I encourage PrEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis, because if you take it one day for 7 days, if you are a male at birth, assigned at birth, it can, aid in the non-contraction of HIV, right?
For how long?
Well, you have to take it for 7 days and every day afterwards. And I always say, if you are single and you're thinking about getting out there, start taking it, because
But you realize you just said if you were male assigned at birth.
if you are female assigned at birth, it takes 28 days for it to show up in your system properly. So if you are female assigned at birth and you were thinking about getting onto PrEP, I would encourage you to take it for 28 days and then engage in whatever type of activity you want to engage into. You might not be taking PrEP to engage in anything. When I was working for a different organization, we would be on college campuses. I said the same thing. Rape on college campuses are prevalent. It's here, right? And so I always tell women, you might be embarrassed to talk about it if it happens, but if you protect yourself on the front end, it just makes your conscience a little bit better. But in the event that you didn't prepare for this, contact your local nurse and ask for PEP. Don't be scared about it. Talk about it. I like these kind of conversations because we're going to normalize it now to normalize it later for someone else, right? I just want to say thank you. This has been so rewarding for myself. I hope this has been rewarding for you guys. Is it anything anybody want to talk about that's going on in the month of March in their agency, or if anyone has any last, things that they want to get out or anything of that nature?
I thank you for the opportunity
Thank you.
to speak my truth as a woman, as a leader, as a mom, and as a participant in providing both physical health, mental health support to people who have been exposed, may be exposed, who want to learn about HIV. Understanding that PrEP is not just for men, it's also for women, and that it's okay to ask your physician or even your nurse practitioner or a friend. What do you know about this? How do I get information about
And
this?
it's free.
Yeah.
It's absolutely free. And if you do not want your, significant other to know about it, anywhere you walk into has a HIPAA law, and they cannot talk about anything that you walked in there to talk about. And that's important for families and for women of color to know. Thank you. Well, thank you. This has been awesome. Thank you for tuning in with the conversation today.